Here's my thought. People think that the tariffs are going to make our costs go up. They say to themselves, things we get, a lot of them come from other nations, and now the costs will go up. There's two ways that's wrong. Number one, companies from America and other countries that want to sell the product in the United States with a no tariff have two options. They can pressure their government to stop their tariffs so their reciprocal tariffs are stopped. Or they can say, you know what? We sell about 100,000 of those in the United States per year. So it would be really smart of us to create a factory that employs people at their wage, at fair wages in the United States, with competitive jobs. We're adding jobs to the market, which when you have less people in the system and more jobs in the market, the prices for jobs, the costs get more competitive, and then they try to create a version of their product that's manufactured right here in the United States, creating jobs for us, and now the product stays cheap. This is and now they're invested in our country, because if our country falls, they don't just lose a customer, they also have to, there's a lot more in it. They're part of the system. They have they have people here that are their intermediates from there to here that could be stuck suffering. It becomes actually a lot more of a entangled cooperation when you do one of those two things. When you drop tariffs, period, back and forth between a country, you open up 100% fair and free trade. It allows them to get the cheaper products and us to get the cheaper products. When there's a tariff going into a country, let's say 67% tariff going for products going into a country, that's going to make it almost impossible for us to sell in that country. So they maybe have 10% tariffs coming into our country. So you would raise that to an amount that equates, not, you don't have to go to 67, but you would raise it to an amount that equates to prohibitive sales of a lot of the items that are key. And then they go, oh, we need to drop it, or bring people into the other country. This is not a if they have, okay, if, here's an example. If China wants technology and they don't have it, they don't have access to it, the products are all made in the United States and we control the technology, and they want the products, at some point, with so many factories there, we go, okay, let's take 3M or some similar company as a for instance. We're making an adhesive. It's a really good adhesive, and we're putting it on, and it goes on all the stickers and all this stuff, and we don't want to release the technology to them, but they have the biggest amount of sticker use of anywhere, right there in that region in China. So we want to sell all the 3M stuff to them, but they make it so expensive that they just go with the cheaper, inferior product. And this other inferior product has market share, where if our product could be there at an equal price, we would just wipe them out. No one would even use the other stuff anymore, the old stuff. The new stuff is just, by 3M, is just that much better. But because they have a 70, 60, 70% tariff, we can't even get into that market. So they create this huge tariff that forces us, when we really need to get into that market to expand and grow, to be risky. And then the government creates incentives, our government itself creates incentives for us to put factories making that adhesive there. And then what happens in their culture? Well, pride is in copying. Pride is in being able to steal and rip things off and do make that uh, same exact item that someone else made, copy it and see I'm a master as well. And it's part of their culture that's celebrated. So they go out and they copy it and they master it and they sell it and they make more, and that's celebrated there. They don't think of it as, oh no, you're stealing the patent, you're violating our patent, and then that's wrong, and you go to court and we talk about it, and we agreed that we could, and no, you're violating it, and okay, you owe them this, or you need to cease and desist. No, they're like, oh, copying, how cool, who can make it cheaper and sell it better? That's it. And so it ends up being very dangerous for us to enter these markets, and huge risks. And then they take over the technology secretly and silently, and they undercut us. 50% of our market share is undercut by their sales, and then somehow they buy us because they get assistance from the government. And it's not even really a company from the ground up creating money and power to take our buy our company. It's more like the taxes from the government being used from the people being used by the government to extend the strength of a corporation that's been stealing from us by 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 copying our product, and then using that money they have and that fiscal power to take that company and own it, and now it's owned by like a Chinese company, and then the people are still designing stuff here in America, and it's all the stuff that we make. They make all the profits, and so that's the degradation of our society, and it all comes from tariffs, bad tariff policy, and the people that say, "Oh, you're taxing it," they're blind to the nuance. They don't see the big picture. It's fair to say that they're the true idiots. I may be idiot burns. Welcome to the party. But they are the true idiots. If they don't see the value and power in a tariff, well, then why are other nations, so many other nations, doing it? So as you move in different positions as a country, you have to evaluate what kind of tariffs you are. And as other countries make tons and millions and billions and trillions of dollars, well, charging tons of tariffs to you, and you're kept out of their market, you think to yourself, well, I guess we got to keep them out of our market. And if they don't care, they don't care. And if they want to be part of our market because it's important to them, because we buy things at a bigger price that is inflated to them, then, wow, okay, certainly you need to pay the toll. And if you want to get rid of those tolls, so what would happen? He creates a reciprocal. Let's say it's a country that has 60%, and he creates a reciprocal of 30%. Well, what that's saying is, we'll get rid of our 30 if you bring yours down to 30. You get rid of 30 of your 60, and we'll get rid of our 30. And then it's not saying, right? Or is he saying, we got 30? That's the amount that that's an equal in power to your amount that you use as a nation with this much value or whatever, and this much GDP or whatever. It calculates to, if we do this amount and we take the top valued items, that this amount of overall products coming in will basically be the same impact to them as this tariff is to us. Are we doing an equal impact? What are we doing? I would like to know more on those levels. But understanding what and how and why it's good, that's a pretty simple thing to do. It doesn't take much brain power. All right, guys. gonna take a shower. Then I'm gonna wake up my kids. Well, one at a time. Well, is first. You guys, that's the thing. The tariffs aren't going to countries that don't charge us tariffs. It's not, we're not just doing it wildly. It's it's countries we're getting stupid bullshit from. Like, think about it. You got here's an example. You got this rule. You can buy it on Amazon, right? And let's say it's $8 and comes in one day, and they got a whole box of like a thousand of them, right? And they sell, when people look up this type of rule, that's the one that sells 90% of the time straight out of China. And then you got the original, real deal, has much more useful information on the back, has much better graticules and everything, and it's made right here in the USA. It says in front, and it says it on the back. Let's see, let's get a good view here. It says made in the USA on both sides. And that one's like $12 and comes in 3 days because it comes from a real place right down the street from 10 different Amazon shippers. But it's a real place that keeps them, and maybe there's just one box in every other facility, Amazon facility, and they don't barely ever sell them, so that's why they're not selling. That's why it's not available right now quickly, because it's $11. Why is this one $11? Well, this one's $11 for two reasons. It used to be $9.99, but now it's $11.99 because it hasn't been selling very well, and so it's more expensive when it's made less and in less quantity. And the people that used to make it are part-time or all these different things. So it's gone up in price for reasons of market saturation by a different product. And that other product is only now, with a 30-something% tariff, will be, let's use 8 before, it's going to be 12. It's going to be more expensive. And for a little bit, you'll be, I don't know, should I get the more expensive one that comes in a day, or should I get the cheaper one? And then, what if every single product said right in the top where a country was made first? And then you could always put a little button on your Amazon that says only products made in America. Then when you look up rule and you see that other one, you go, oh, click, which one's made in America? Oh, only 2 of them are made in America. I'm not getting the $20 one, but I'll get that $12 one. It's only $1 more than that piece of crap in China. And now, grocery prices don't feel so bad because more people are making money. You need to understand what tariffs are in order to whine about them. If you don't fucking know what they are, you're just gonna sound like a stupid moron. Ooh, they're taxing us. It's not a tax. It may feel immediate like a tax in the moment here and there, but that is not how it works. That's a dramatic oversimplification, and the reason why people are repeating that is because the talking heads in the news, those idiots, those people that really only learned how to talk a certain way, but actually don't have any dignity, and their self-preservation is way beyond their dignity, and their willingness to do something to make a buck goes way beyond their moral compass for truth. So those people, they're going to say whatever they want, talking head piece, but it's not the truth, and they hear over and over and over, oh, there's an immediate feeling of, there's an immediate losses felt here. Well, it's going to be really tough immediately for there. Guys at the warehouse say that they're going to feel it immediately. This isn't going to affect my meat and egg prices or whatever. You guys probably didn't save for your kids' college, right? Tommy Emmerich. Didn't even plan for their kid to go to college. Didn't even think about it until he said the word college when he was 18. Alright, you guys. Quit being stupid. Tariffs are dumb. Right? Quit being stupid. Tariffs are... You're gonna scratch Elon Musk's car. He found out where the money came from. I hope the truth of it is that I actually lost my job because of deeper reasons in the company, losing money and not getting funding and all kinds of bullshit. Alright, guys. Always secretly hoping some deeper truth comes out.